eyes in space. If you don't have your own satellite, other people know what is happening in your country without you knowing. And so things just happen to you. And this is a capacity that we want to build more and more and more.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then the hullabaloo about the rats?
The rats, those are research tools.
Yes.
Actually, I took them to Parliament some time ago. I took them so that the members of Parliament who were there and saw, and the media who were there and saw, and I explained, they understood. Because these are laboratory animals. We call them mice. They're a version of rats, of rodents, but they are mice. They are specifically designed to be used in experiments. And we bought two pairs, which we have multiplied now. Now the country has that capacity. Yeah.
And for Opondo, who is coming on microphone for agriculture?
And why were they so expensive?
And Opondo coming on microphone for agriculture. Do you have an agriculture day?
Agriculture is part of what we call productivity acceleration. So it's a mixture of things which help Ugandans to produce. So we are not having specifically, the way we are set, we have eight, we call them bureaus, 8 industrial value chains. So agriculture falls, depending on what aspect of agriculture, it falls in one of those. So the 8 industrial value chains, which we are going to see, we are going to see the one you're talking about, the digital, the Industry 4.0, and you'll see a lot of things being exhibited. We have mobility, the progress we have made in making things which move, which help us to move vehicles and so on, and their parts. Then we have, we'll be showcasing, actually when you come there, you will see the progress with the satellite. It is going to be exhibited there, the things, and we'll explain better when you are saying. So satellite, the space. Then we have what we call infrastructure innovations. This is the progress we have made in adding value to our minerals and the things that we are building from those minerals. You remember the president some time ago banned the export of raw minerals. So you'll see the progress we are making in adding value to these minerals and creating good things out of them. And then even the rats, you'll be able to see the things that we have used these rats to produce in what we call the pathogen economy. You will see a vast array of things that we have produced using experiments that we have used those rats for. And we'll be able to explain better when you are seeing them. So I invite all Ugandans to be there.
Opondo.
The rats will be there?
No.
It's our own microphone.
We want.
Yes. Not National Science Week. Yeah. What the minister is saying.
No, I think it is one of those things that we, as a country, as a continent, have not done in a long time. Cumulatively, therefore, we are lagging very far behind. Oscar, you and I think the generation of the early 80s, not even typewriter.
Fax machine.
Our year in secondary school, I joined secondary school in 1978. That was the end, towards the end of a mean. And as students doing biology, for example, you are making fun about the rats. As students doing biology, we could not have a rat to dissect. We would be sent to the swamps to look for frogs because the school system did not have a good way to supply sustainably frogs and rats for biology students to learn on. I am not very sure, for example, that even at the time I was in Makerere University, 85, 86, 87, that the students who were doing veterinary medicine had all the specimen they needed.
No.
I'm using the word all and being supplied, or even having dead bodies, human dead bodies, or dead parts stored very well that you can learn on. So we trivialize these things, but they are critical for our advancement and eventual prosperity. And so the Science Week, this being the third edition, I think it is a good innovation on the side of government as one way to reinvigorate picking interest, especially among young people, but also investors of all categories. As you said, I am now in farming. If you go to our side of the country, Tororo, Bukedi, and for example, you hire somebody's land, you say, I want 10 acres to grow soybeans. The owners of the land will not even allow you to use weed killer chemicals on their land. They'll tell you, you are going to spoil my land. Now you have paid somebody money, 10 acres, you want to do soybeans, you want to remove weed, you want to kill termites, you know, and somebody and somebody tells you, no. If you use fertilizers, you use chemicals, you are going to kill the anthills. Me, I want to eat enswa. I want to eat white ants. Yes, I want to eat mushrooms.
I think it is not concerned.
Yes, things as basic as that. So it means that you who has hired land, you cannot achieve the productivity you want, even if you have new good seeds. Take another case, even planting new seeds, improved seeds, you have to tussle with farmers. This thing the president is talking about, fence your land if you are going to graze cows. People say, no. Why do you want me to fence my land? People don't appreciate that. Because you don't fence the land, your cows or your goats spread the diseases, spread the ticks, spread all sorts of. So I think this is one way to interest students and technology to pick science and technology. And this particular one,
to improve productivity.
It appears to me, I don't have the details, I will be going there myself also. It appears to me that they are linking the scientists who teach, the innovators, and now the practitioners, the people who are going to apply the innovation. I think that one, if done multiple times, we should have. You are talking about the school system. In many of our homes, for example, you don't allow your child. When I was growing up, my father never allowed us even to touch the knob of the radio. If you have a television,
the TV was covered.
Yes. If your father came and parked his bicycle, and there is one missing spoke, you are not even allowed to try and fix that missing spoke. So consequently, we are people, generally speaking, who are using technology, but we don't know the basics. I don't know how many of us here who can remove the tires of our cars and replace. Or if you are asked to open the bonnet and just refill the water for the whipper, chances are
those ones we know.
Those of us who are driven by government, who are in the government, for example, you will be hard pressed the day you don't have your driver, even to know which side of the vehicle the fuel tank is. Things that are basic. So for me, I think having this Science Week, if done very well, like the minister seems to be explaining that they are now connecting different players, I think it will be a good thing. And eventually, we should be able to adopt technology in the different areas of production to increase and improve productivity.
Let's go to Semuju. Here is an opportunity for you to congratulate government of NRM and say congratulate the minister, Dr. Musenero. You are doing very well. I'm giving you the lead on words to use.
Oscar,
You've campaigned for a long time. That place is used by the public, not
this one here. It will be closed.
But that's Science Week. How will you close
if
it?
M7 is going to appear there, it's not only the corridor that will close. They are going to close all the surroundings, either the wife or the son, any member of that family. I mean,
so you're not
Oscar,
using the words I gave you to start with.
You are taking me the wrong way. Just coming here to Capital Radio today.
Yeah.
I asked who is coming. The Honorable Msenero came with the barracks. I saw policemen standing in front of my car, others, SFC, what? And if that's going to be the environment...
Actually, I asked at them, I said, is there a prisoner here?
If that's going to be the environment at the Science Week, I will not go there. But Oscar, the trouble with the government, and I sympathize with the people like Dr. Msenero, people who are serving this government, the lack of trust, the lack of belief. Even when you are doing something good, people will not believe, first of all, that you have capacity, two, that it's being done in good faith.
And the people start with you?
I am one. I am part.
Oh, yeah.
I am part of the public. The Dr. Msen will tell you, by the way, when she came to appear before Committee on Budget, I was one of her supporters, including Chira Motors. The trouble with the NRM and its spokespersons, including directors of communication, if they are going to give you a goat, they will tell you prepare huge space for a cow. So we are bringing a cow. So when they deliver a goat, which they knew that they were going to deliver, you're going to be disappointed. That's what I told Dr. Msenero when she appeared with other agencies in her sector. Because what Chira Motors is doing is just assembling. I asked them, what is the content, what is the local content in these buses that you want to assemble? I saw that in Ethiopia. Tell me, if I need to go and bring my pine trees in Mukono, are they going to have are you going to buy them? What is Ugandan that you are going to put in this car? If you are assembling a vehicle, it is good enough. Kenya does it. Don't present it as if you are manufacturing. That's why Dr. Msenero had issues with the COVID. Because you made us with the president to believe that actually you're not going to buy vaccines. Now you're working, and a lot of money went into it. We thought the following day we would walk into a pharmacy somewhere to buy the Msenero manufactured vaccines, COVID vaccines in Uganda. Because I told the MPs, and I still hold the same view. Science, first of all, with science you must be patient. But also science is experiment. Not everything that you're going to do is going to be successful. You need to tell the country that what you are doing today is an experiment. It may not, it may work. But for you start by making a declaration and launching, yes, and launching, this one is going to happen. I have no problem with our scientists exploring even manufacturing of a vaccine. If it doesn't work, they say this is a stage at which we have failed. But in the process, yes, in the process we've been able to do this. But Msenero and her boss, they will start by launching and even declaring we will now supply the whole of Africa with the vaccines. And then you ask, is there any Ugandan vaccine? It is not there.
But we spent 31 billion.
Not 31. It is in almost $1 trillion. So, Oscar, that's where the problem is. But also the way things are presented. They look like things are coming from an extremely uncoordinated group. A group that is just fidgeting. Because today the president announces you want to promote science in schools. And then they will say, all students at all level, you will do the following subjects. They are now compulsory. Then the following day, the president and our own, he says, now I am giving science teachers so much money. Where is the study? How will that affect the education system? Then we begin quarreling. Now the other day I saw a case, I don't know how it was concluded. Teachers are in court. So these things, they should, I mean, Idi Amin can be forgiven for doing things like this, but Yoweri Museveni, who was in a university in Dar es Salaam and even taught in a college, needs to do things differently. So that's the trouble that the Mseneros have. But also, broader Oscar, I want Dr. Msenero to tell me, because every country cannot do the same science and all the sciences. tell me what sciences do we need to do in Uganda that are, because you go to South Korea, they will tell you this is where they have specialized. You go to Japan, this is where they have specialized. You go to this, including simple things. The other day I was shocked that Russia was buying part of their spare parts of their ammunition from Ukraine. They said this particular part can best be done by Ukraine. So we'll do the rest, and then the 10% will come from this country. There is no country that will be self-reliant in science, that for you have everything, science in the vaccine, science in agriculture, science in the satellite, science in what. You begin appearing like you are fidgeting. So give me a list of the sciences that Uganda wants to specialize in and the benefit. Because, and I said in Parliament, like vaccines, even a study, a cost benefit needed to have been done. Do we need this vaccine? Do we need to produce the vaccines ourselves? How much money? Because the money that was spent there, a quarter of it would buy vaccines for all of us. So those are my issues, Oscar.
Okay, let's
First,
go to
tell me
Joe.
what sciences do we need, and what is the benefit, and what is our advantage to all the others? And then we will be clapping and giving you a hand.
Honorable Joe Senyonyo. I dare say Semuju cannot blame Dr. Msenero for the vaccines. I think those were not even in her docket.
Hey,
Are you sure?
they were.
They were in her docket? Okay.
She was actually the one distributing the money to scientists. When she came to Parliament, the MPs were choosing out of eating the money, and she brought a list that I gave so and so, so and so, so and so.
Go on, Joe.
Yeah.
What was your question?
The comments on the Science Week, let me give you the lead. Congratulations, Dr. Monica Musenero, for organizing the 3rd edition of the Science Week. We hope Uganda is going to develop further. Follow that lead.
Firstly, I think that Dr. Musenero, as an individual, this is somebody with a huge profile who has done some incredible works. One of the most outstanding epidemiologists this country has produced. She fought Ebola in Uganda, in DRC, in Guinea, in Sierra Leone. She has done some incredible work. Yeah. But you see,
Dr. Msenyo has started very well.
and I will end very well.
He has started very well.
No, because he has known me for a long time. He knows who I am.
From where?
If I were you, I don't smile too soon.
Media for over 14 years. So I have interacted with a few people over the years. So her as a person, you know, that's who she is, and well-meaning and so on. But you see, people like Dr. Musenero cannot deliver in this system. Whether you like it, doctor, or you don't like it. It does not matter how intelligent you are, and you are extremely intelligent. It does not matter how...
Welcome back from the break. The minister is inviting everyone to come and see what's in Kololo. Opondo, you wanted to...
Yes, Oscar.
You wanted to talk about that there's Levi Eyaru saying Semuju is in government, but BMK gives us, talking of the Kampala Wi-Fi, which was launched by Frank Tumwebaze, after he had launched it the very next week, I read on his timeline, he was quarreling with MTN why his internet MB bundles were expiring very quickly. Well, these days they don't expire so fast. There's a freedom bundle.
Yes. Oscar, the elite debate is very interesting. You see, there was a time when people argued we don't need an army. You can ask UN to protect you. That is a good argument, but it's not sustainable. So I think we need our own Ugandan scientists. We can discuss the structure of the support, the funding, the priority areas, but you cannot say we don't need. Now, Wi-Fi, government, the free Wi-Fi, it is called MyUG. First of all, it was done as a pilot in the areas of Kampala, City Center, Constitutional Square, parts of Makerere University, Mulago Hospital. I think a number of the hospitals around Kampala, Rubaga, and so on and so forth, almost 4 or 5 years ago. How does this free Wi-Fi work? The government of Uganda through NITAU buys MBs, and the MBs that the government does not use when the government offices are off, for example at night or weekend, is what is transferred for this MyUG. And there has been efforts to publicize where the hotspots are. Honorable Senyonyi has an issue with the timing. First of all, we are encouraging a night economy. We are encouraging Ugandans to work 24/7. So if the Wi-Fi is, even City Square, you can adjure and make that place safe. You can put facilities there. Makerere University and all these universities, it does no harm if there is free Wi-Fi in the university beginning midnight. Other children, other students may go asleep, but the children who are serious can go and start reading and doing research from midnight to 6 a.m. when the government offices are going to take up this. Where are we today?
In a university, it would make sense.
No, even if you say Owino market, because you are encouraging night economy, so you can encourage Owino traders, you can encourage Nakasero traders, you can what you should do, what we should be able to do. How do we partner, for example, with the KCCA to ensure that City Square is safe and has facilities, convenient facilities for people to sit and actually do the work they want to do using this free Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Where are we today? We have over 200 hotspots today in Uganda. Almost all the regional referral hospitals are having free Wi-Fi at designated time. For patients, for example, they are minders to have ease and so on. I think actually this week we were at the top management of the Ministry of ICT and we were asking them to make sure that they publicize the spots where the free Wi-Fi are and what time. And the justification for that, what you consider late hour, is actually the government of Uganda is encouraging an economy of 24/7. So that will be an issue.
The listeners usually send messages after to verify. So if you're one of those who has used, if you have used that free Wi-Fi at whatever time it is, please send in a message so that others can also log on to it. So, Dr. Musenero, we are back to you with comments around the table. What do you take from it?
Thank you very much, all the gangsters. Thank you for all the remarks, all the comments. First, generally, this for me represents a gap.
Sorry, you could add in, there's someone here, Daniel Mushikoma, complaining about the sericulture project. Go on, Dr. Musenero.
There is a gap. I think, as I said earlier, for a long time, scientists have been going on with their work, but the communication. Uganda looks like a small country, it's a big country. A lot of things can be happening in the city and you don't know, even just in Kampala city, however small. So a lot of things are happening in this country, and many people, many well-meaning people, they don't know. And that is why we do Science Week. For those who were at Science Week 2021, we started to bring out these things. Then 2022, they came, they were like, wow, you mean all this is in Uganda? Now this year, they are going to come and feel like Tusimbu Day, for sure. So anybody who has doubt in what we are doing and the things that we're doing, I really want to invite them to come to Science Week. Just pass by and see for yourself, and then we will see the questions which come. The other things which may also be related to a gap in this language scientists use and the language that other people perceive is that when we say we are working on something, for them they mean that we are bringing it out tomorrow. For example, nobody can tell you that Musenero said that tomorrow we are going to be injecting you with the Ugandan vaccine. But I told them we are working on the vaccine. But because they're expecting, they want this thing, they need this thing. Sometimes the expectation, which is good, it pushes us to work very hard. But we have made a lot of progress, unbelievable progress, which we have gone to all ends to bring out in this Science Week for anybody who come around, because it is easier to explain to people what is happening when you're seeing it. I am told the Africans' eyes are in the hands. When somebody says, let me see, it means let me touch. Then they will be able to see that. So other things that people raise about money and what, they were due processes in this country. There were accusations, but there were very extensive processes that found that the funds were used extremely well. And even the committee of cabinet of parliament, which said this, we should invest more. And I don't think there is anywhere where we are saying that today is not the day in science. Actually, we are so late. We are so behind. Other nations have gone so far ahead of us. So that's why we are moving really fast. We are pushing very fast. Many of the things that you have been talking about, like going to find our children in Katwe and what, we are already doing that. And we are going to be showing you what we have done with these children. Some of them will be, you remember, during on Independence Day, we launched a car called Bengwa. Now, between the time we pick these children from where they are doing their innovations to the time we launch, it's a lot of work which takes place in the background. But we are beginning to show you that we are connecting with these Ugandan, even those who didn't get educated very well. So we launched a vehicle called Bingwa, and the innovators didn't even finish secondary school. But we have been able to bring them, put them together with scientists, give them a lot of support, and bring them to where they are. And although these are the ones now where we are saying to Simbude, you can see them, there are a lot more behind who are coming. There was an issue about the areas that we are not in everything. Actually, we are not in everything. We have 8 areas where we are focused. Only 8 areas, because we believe that it's like you are trying to dig a road. If we can dig this, then we can always come back and pick others. And these areas we are very carefully selected. We did a lot of thinking, a lot of study, a lot of studying other countries and looking at what we have and adding value to agriculture. Agricultural products is one of the areas that you are going to see at the Science Week. So I want to invite everybody once again to make sure that those who believe and those who don't believe, please come. Those who believe and those who don't believe, please come. And please, when you come, I'll be there most of the time, almost all the time. Just alert me, and I will walk around with you.
Me of sometimes in secondary school.
Without you, see what's happening.
Free.
Quietly.
That is good.
Oscar, sometimes in secondary school, you added reagents in the chemistry lab, and then the teacher would strenuously trying to say, do you see the blue bubbles? And you're thinking, no, I'm not seeing these bubbles. So Science Week and Science Innovation sounds like that. But I promise I will find time during the week and come.
That is
and
what
then
I
can
want.
submit from a more informed point of view.
Yes,
because
yes.
usually things like this, like science development and all, they should be evident for us to see. It shouldn't be during the Science Week that we are seeing this. If Kira Evi has been given over $1 trillion now, or how many billion to produce buses, I should be seeing them going past my home or at City Square or somewhere, and I shouldn't need Science Week. If we have spent money towards COVID vaccines, they should be rolled out, and I should be going to the next medical center to say I'm looking for the Ugandan COVID vaccine for my COVID. So yes, I will pass by and see.
Okay.
But bear in mind that
Thank
these
you.
things should not be hidden in corners.
Conclude with that.
Yes, thank you.
Read her
Conclude with
message
that.
for follow up for her.
But let her first
from an
speak about
anonymous
this.
person.
Just in a minute,
She
the
could probably tie this
sericulture. Oh, just 1 second.
Okay.
Yes, the sericulture project. What was that, Honorable Minister? Dr.
The sericulture project was a project that was started by the predecessor ministry.
Oh.
I think they were working with someone, and they started to do sericulture across the country. The issue is that this is like the 7th project that the country had tried to do in sericulture. None of them were successful. So we tried to examine how this was happening. And the way it was going, we were convinced it is not going to work. And we wanted to review it. Unfortunately, some of the people who are in it, they don't want the review because it is just going to waste money and it is not going to give us the results we want. Yeah, so that is we are in that process of reviewing so that we can organize it better and it can yield better results. That is what is going on now. And that's currently up to now, that is what is going on.
Okay. They've listened.
Yes. So the issues of the young people, we have gone big time on this. We have gone big time.
You had kind of spoken on that.
Yes,
they will
we
be
have
seen.
spoken on
so let's
that.
pause on this subject for a while. We'll come
Oscar,
back to it at conclusion.
This is an update she needs to follow up on. And somebody anonymous says, I'm a voter from Kira municipality. Honorable Musenero is superintending over a dead ministry. We shared an innovation proposal for soap manufacture. At the time, soap was at 10K a bar during the COVID era. She acknowledged proposal was good and kept tossing us until Jesus comes. Where is our priority as minister if local investors in innovation cannot be helped? Perhaps the question is, young people who have some innovation ideas, but going away.
But if you want to produce soap, why do you go to the minister?
Yes.
It's a science-related thing. He has some ideas. It's chemicals, mixtures, stuff, and whatever.
Thank you. Thank you.
And there are others probably like him doing crazy other things, amazing stuff.
But Nafi and Joel, the minister can answer to that. You know, kids in school, we do soap. Just like that, very, very quickly. No, in schools, those are some of school projects.
This one had mixtures of chemical elements that
you always have to have those things. But anyway, let me come to you now, Joel. Yes, Levi Eyaru.
Where people can go.
Levi Eyaru says that I can testify that there's free Wi-Fi in Soroti main market powered by Nita Uganda 1. So, Joel,
you have to go to Soroti if you want free Wi-Fi.
Or said in markets. So, Joel.
Yes, please.
Two things. Opposition is back in Parliament. We don't know yet if the demands were met. This is what I was told, that you are back in Parliament. So, next week, will you be going to Parliament? Then, secondly, you have headquarters opened. What was the hindrance? And then I saw it really being guarded by Uganda security.
We are important
for that
people.
you are grateful.
So where do I start from, Oscar? You've asked too many questions.
Two questions. Two things. You should listen
to tell us lies about Wi-Fi. But the listeners, I was told if you want free Wi-Fi, go to Soroti. In Kampala, it might not be there. Anyhow. Firstly, about the unveil of our new headquarters, we found it odd that police would bother us about this. You know, we got prepared and set, and we set out to launch and unveil our offices, and then there was some excited deputy RCC who wrote in bad English, you need to help these your people. If they are to write on behalf of government, somebody needs to edit. Okay, somebody needs to help them. You know, if you're communicating on behalf of government, it's okay when they rant on social media and write some gibberish, but if you're communicating some basic Luzungu. Anyhow, beside that, so then they say we cannot hold our function. We get there, police had heavily deployed with the military, SFC and so on. And then they said, you see, because Misam 7 is going to be within Kawempe division for a function, but they're very far away from our headquarters, they said, we shall not let you. We said, okay, let's not go into a boxing match with these guys. We've invited a couple of guests and so on. It's fine. Tomorrow, the following day, Misam 7 will not be in Kawempe. We shall unveil then. Same story. We wake up and the deployment is even a lot more. And we're saying, you see, you've not notified us and so on. We said, but I don't know what law you guys read. Because you see, Section 4.2e of the Public Order Management Act talks about meetings that are not regulated under POMA. One of those is political party organ meetings. This is one of such. We invited our leaders at various levels, plus some invited guests within our gates to unveil our offices.
You are not going to. You are not going to walk the streets or anything.
For what? The unveil was
inside the gate.
The office, inside the gate. You know, when we want to walk and whatever, we normally do tell police, like we did during our countrywide tours. You said it shall notify you whether you say you have allowed us or not, because the law doesn't even say you'll allow us, you shall go out there. So this one was to be at the particular premises. Anyhow, eventually they realized they were just being ridiculous. I think their plan was, let's withdraw at 10 a.m. so that it's difficult for them to mobilize and have the function happen. So at 10 a.m. they withdrew. But thankfully we were able to quickly reorganize, and the function happened successfully. Some people have said it's because the NRM has been challenged a great deal. You guys are making them look bad. They've been around for I don't know how long. They don't have a proper home. That's their business. Hopefully they'll eventually sort it out. But we are glad that we have a home. Kamucha has been and continues to be our home. That's Honorable Chagulanyi's property, but he allowed us to use it, and he allows us to continuously use it, because now it's going to become a school of leadership where we'll have some training there and so on for our young people. But the business of the party will now move to Kavule, and we are glad that finally we were able to unveil it.
I have seen your principal's tweet saying in 2.5 years you've been able to put up a building, and then other unkind people have been talking about an NRM building. Monies were released and not yet. The building is not up there yet.
You see, even when a child grows, you know, when you become a man, as it were, in our society, you start a home. So yes, 2.5 years later, we do have a home. It's important, Oscar. So some people might see this as just a building, but no, it's important that you have an address. And we said this is the kind of orderliness that should come with even running government, that you are organized to the extent of you have a proper home where you're able to run your activities. When people need to meet different officials of the party, they know where to go, and so on. Oscar, somebody once said something that I believe greatly. If your leadership fails at home, don't export it elsewhere. So it starts at home. Firstly, in our homes, our personal homes, yeah? If you're a lousy leader there, you cannot even be an LC1 chairman. And that's why some people who are LC1 chairpersons, as you know, with the title, they're always fighting with the wife, I don't know what. People find another opinion leader. That's where they take their problems, because you have failed at home. So even as we are saying, yeah, it starts at home. You know that now we do have a home to show that you can be meticulous, that government can be run with a bit of meticulousness. It's a sample.
Okay. And opposition is not back in parliament?
By the way,
your political party's spokesman?
No. No, and perhaps that's why the speaker even did adjourn plenary for 2 weeks until 15th of this month.
Okay.
He says, yeah, there's need for a lot more engaging and so on to resolve these issues, because the speaker is also saying, and I'm good he has gotten to that point, to say, look, yeah, there might be numbers on the right side of parliament, but it's important that we are all in here. And we're saying, now you're saying what we have been saying. Can we get to dealing with these critical issues? I hope that gets to happen.
Okay.
It's not enough for government ministers to come there and say, we responded to this issue, we said we don't have these guys, that's all we can say. No, but they were abducted by military men. Nabanja has come up to say, yes, some of them, we did arrest them because they killed police officers and that kind of thing. And we have said, that's okay. If you're saying these people allegedly committed crimes, take them to court. You don't hold them where nobody knows where they are. For heaven's sake, let's be serious. The family members don't know where they are. Lawyers cannot follow up because you're saying they committed offenses. Then that means they need lawyers to follow up on these matters. But for 4 years, you've not produced them anywhere. And people think we can take this lightly. No, we are saying we want answers. If they are suspects of anything,
yes,
we know where suspects are meant to be held.
Okay.
So we're not backing down on this issue.
Opondo, I thought about you yesterday when I saw pictures of security personnel surrounding the building and all, and I thought is continuously says these things about giving them publicity where they had none. So it happened as well.
Well, first of all, let me congratulate.
But first, go to the microphone.
Congratulate NUP.
Thank you.
The young people for within 2.5 years, building their own home. Never mind that is in Makere Kavule.
Your Prime Minister stays opposite us, in Makere Kavule. So,
but can't say of the 5 billion they get from the government of Uganda by way of the Political Organizations Act, where government of Uganda gives political parties with representation in the parliament, I think at the rate of 25 million per member of parliament per quarter. So you can calculate.
So DP and UPC also get this money?
Yes, of course, they are the largest.
75% of this money.
They are the largest.
And has been getting, even in the previous parliament.
They are the largest. Wow. Two, NRM has its own home. That plot 10 is NRM home. Nakasero is our home. We did not build a completely new place. We bought an existing premises which we have since modified. We intend to, because down here in Clement Hill, we have a huge plot there where we intend to put the 27 storage. That will take a bit of time, and it has taken a bit of time, and we understand when people are disappointed that after so many decades, 2.5 decades as a party, we don't have, but we shall do. But that's not a big issue. UPC has had a headquarters since 1968.
Uganda House.
Uganda House. It has collapsed twice under the weight of its military. So surely the DP has had headquarters.
Where?
They have since moved to Sapporo Kagwa, somewhere in Rubaga. That is not. Kanu has a headquarters. So please, don't equate having headquarters with efficiency and capability to keep the state and also enjoy popularity among the voters. But I congratulate NUP. Now, the hiccup of the first day, that one I perfectly understand, because the president was in Kawempe, Harris factory. We all know what is going on in this town. Maybe there was a lack of coordination when NUP scheduled to open their office. They should have been told in a more polite way, formally, that because of ABCD, the president going in time, postponed yours. Because in the country we know, under our constitution, the president and his activities take precedent. You can't ask the president to postpone his activity.
The constitution says you can't have an activity here in the same district with another.
You spoke and I listened to you,
just
my young
getting
brother.
clarification.
I am saying that one, for me, I perfectly understand.
Which article of the constitution,
if they were
sir?
told, don't have your activity today, have it another day.
Or which article of the constitution?
The president takes precedent. The president takes precedent. You can go and check. You can
Honorable Senyonyi, you come back to it, but he's given an opinion. And he says he understands.
Yes, under our constitution, the president takes the precedent. So anyway, that's, for me, I perfectly understand that one. By the second rider you are giving, the one of the second day, I continue to say there is a way in which I think there could be either lack of professionalism or zealousness. If not, I'm beginning even to say, could there be officers who are working for NUP? Because you ask, working for position. You remember those days, and we used to hear these stories. I didn't bother to go in detail to confirm. We used to be told that there would even be officers who say, you VCJ, you go and walk in town so that there is operational money and so on. Things hard to believe. But in this town, anything is possible, because you ask, this is a registered political party. They have constructed their office. They are going to unveil it. Honestly, why do you surround and create a scene These people had no.
I had actually not known about it until I saw the whole thing.
For me, I had not even got a wish that these people had built a home.
Yeah.
It was this deployment that made me know that actually they have built an office in Mkerekavu. So I keep asking myself. But anyway, I don't want to bash the police people. I will try to engage with my nephew Koto Chora and my brother Kasegaze and so on. Why do they keep giving these people, really recreating them? I said on this show before that 2.5 years of NUP as a leader of opposition in the parliament, these people had died a natural death because, one, they had failed to keep the opposition as one group. FDC was pulling a different side, the DP is pulling a different side, the UPC pulling a different side, even within themselves. Now they created them. Two, they had failed on policy alternative, and that's why they have been hankering on the disappeared. Not that the state should abuse human rights with wanton, with impunity. No. Yes, if there are people who have been arrested, the state must account for all of them. There should be no excuse why the state cannot account for every Ugandan, especially where they allege that you have them. But you remember these guys, when they came into this parliament in 2021, they started with the thousands. They used...
Lydia, your turn to congratulate Senyonyi and his party.
Did you contribute nothing?
I would like to... I would like to congratulate National Unity Platform for unveiling the party headquarters in Kavule, and Kavule is a common place near Makerere University. It's also in the center, really like in the center of the city. So I think it's a prime location for the party activities. And there isn't much, because I can add on to this, because also other political parties, I think, are doing the same. I had FDC Forum for Democratic Change. The president had a press briefing, and one of his main points was that they are going to rebuild or revamp Najana Nkumbi to a magnificent structure that reflects the party headquarters aspirations. I don't know why people always compare NRM to other political parties, because we are also a political party in our own right.
The leading
and you rarely
party.
Congratulate us on anything, but we have a party headquarters, Plot 10 Chadondo, Nakasero. Okay. Yes. And we also have bigger plans, like OO has said. We have our plot, big plot at just near here, Crescent Towers, where we have our own aspirations of offices, but also for commercial enterprises. So we are going to be putting up something. But for NRM, we've also been lucky, Oscar, that we have we are owning offices in the districts. I think at least now we have like 4 districts that are property of the NRM, and some have been constructed. For example, Sironko district, under the chairmanship of Haji Romolo, they bought a plot of land and built the first headquarters, but we've since now had Mitiana. I've seen that building also in Gulu and many other places. The president won a court petition of 300 million, and he directed that it builds the headquarters in Luwero for the party. So that money is they're already building. And also on, was it NRM Day, early this year, we were able to launch the NRM office for Kakumiro district, fully furnished and built as an NRM. So political parties are building structure. That's part of the party infrastructure to improve the governance of the country, so that we are able to train, recruit, hold meetings, and be able to post candidates that can serve the country from a point of cadreship and being trained. So Joel, I was looking for my invitation. I didn't see, but I know that it is
there's a message here saying, Lydia, but you're talking about political party buildings. Can Semuju access the FDC building of party headquarters?
I think that it's like if you went to OO's house in Mukono and they have issues with siblings, just temporary, then you say, but OO's household is OO's household. So if this household stands, these are just small things. They happen. They will always go back. And I want to remind the Ugandans and those who have sent here a message, Oscar, that what is happening in FDC is not isolated to FDC. NRM also, we have had those problems before, but did not stop us from reconciling and staying within the same house under the chairmanship of His Excellency President Museveni, who is the national chairman of the NRM party. So let's not overlap that matter. It's not unique to FDC. It is a common thing that people can disagree, but what's important is they should also find a way of getting back, or if they separate, it should be on principle and it shouldn't be a big issue to be talked about and profiling individuals for and against. So
when the Secretary General of one faction is saying, leave a will, before you come, leave a will.
Those words happen, but they can be retracted. Someone can say, I spoke in the middle of passion and anger, but now this is behind us, let's proceed. So those things can always be retracted because of the moment. You can say many words. There are days when you have, whether in public or private, there are times when you are really pissed off and you say something which you later regret and say, let's not take this route now, let's start a new chapter. You've had those words, Oscar,
yes,
of a new chapter, new beginnings. So that we should always, a new Uganda, we should always look forward to better ways of resolving our differences and move on. Whether it's at family, politics, office, there are so many fights in office. People these days, you cannot sit in, if someone is replacing you at the media center, they say, I don't want to sit on the chair where where OO seated, or drive the same office vehicle. You've seen this. But why is that? Because people fear witchcraft or bad will. But we should move on.
Namfi.
So that's it.
Opposition NUP have a new home in
Kavule,
in Makerere Kavule, and it's your turn to congratulate them.
Yes, and congratulate us who stay this side.
You need to go to the microphone.
Now police will not concentrate on us anymore. But Oscar, it's a good development for NUP. Clearly, it's not a May to December romance. It's not a May to December romance. Up to now, NRM doesn't have a proper home. Clearly, after 40 years, they still feel temporary. They feel, and Oscar, I've always said, once President Museveni is gone, there won't be any NRM to talk about. He is the glue that holds them together with his money. Actually, his money. Our money is the glue that holds them together. So I congratulate NUP and the way they did it. Joel here was telling me that they had to buy properties in the area and then renovate them, because otherwise they would never have gotten planning permits from this government. So for that ingenuity, I congratulate them. And OO here would like to fantasize that NUP is going to go away, but we shall see.
You haven't been listening in and out of the studio.
You were saying that I still have to work even when I come to the show. So you were saying that 2.5 years down the road they haven't managed to do X, Y, Z. That said, they've done so much, and I choose to concentrate on how much they've done. And this is for me, this is a big deal. And the fact that now they have a structure, even when the current leadership, steps aside and there's new leadership that comes, hopefully this should show that it will carry on with its ideologies. Now, the things they need to work on is cementing its ideology and its...
Or growing an ideology.
Growing. Senyonyi, you have an ideology aside from removing Museveni.
Is it not enough?
Yes. No, it's never enough. Because once Museveni is removed,
But is
then
that an ideology?
pieces.
It cannot be
It
an
shouldn't
ideology.
be. You struggle afterwards, Oscar. So they should do that, and then also
Actually, the
I think
harder work is fixing the country after removing the problem.
after removing. So they need to
Frederick
have,
Karamaji on Twitter says FDC has 2 prime property headquarters in Kampala, Katonga and Najanankumbi.
have you seen them? You can see that it was temporary structures put there, temporary locations put there for them to just get on with business. But this NUP looks like the main business. So they should work on that. And then also leadership. It shouldn't be a one-man party. They should grow it to have much wider representation and something more than Honorable Chagulanyi at the helm of their leadership. Otherwise, they will get FDC problems when you have one iconic leader. Once the iconic leader leaves, they leave such a gap that you can't replace them. FDC is still struggling with that. It was good to see Besigye there and Honorable Matembe. I still think Besigye holds more credentials than anyone else at FDC. And their laws, I'm not saying he should have held on to power forever. I'm just saying that he should have stayed on as chairman in some capacity, at least guiding the party, even to date. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, and he is partly to blame. But seeing him there struck a good chord. So, Senyonyi, well done. And you can build on from this. And they are a formidable force, like it or not. And they're here to stay. And hopefully they have good things for this, good plans for this country, not just getting Museveni out of power.
Okay. A lot of messages are still coming in about the Wi-Fi and so on. We'll maybe tackle them closer to the end. But so, Joel, as O says, congratulations on that one. But
thank you.
Others have done it, as is pointed out, and like
okay.
UPC has had theirs. Hold on 1 second. UPC has had theirs for a long time, and by insinuation, O is saying UPC is not there anymore, even though they have an MOU together. You didn't. I've just said by insinuation.
I didn't say they are not there anymore. I said
it is true you didn't say it.
I said it has collapsed twice under the weight. BP has had a headquarters.
It's having a hard time
won an election.
So you're suggesting you didn't have
FDC has had the headquarters bought. Since I don't know when, they even lost the position of leader of opposition.
Joe, as you've heard, when O is on your side, because now the repeat is even worse
Oscar,
than the insinuation.
This talk is not about to stop. When we take power tomorrow, O will say, you're not the first to take power after all. Others took it and, it slipped out of their fingers or whatever. At the start, they called us a wave. These ones here, they're just some moving wind that is going to seize and so on. Said, okay, they will not survive after election time.
Teacher Joan in Kampala says, well said, purposeful communication is lacking among the ministers, especially in parliament. Preparedness is another issue. But Crispy Kaheru tells you, Joe, that what I found inconsistent with NUP's office launch was that security had previously claimed inability to offer adequate security. And the following day, there they were, witnessing a presence of uniformed personnel actively obstructing at the same premises. But O has explained it better in both ways. So what inspired you, NUP, to invite Dr. Besigye?
We have always talked about the unity of the forces of change, and we normally engage.
The reason I asked that question is because you didn't invite Party President Poa of FDC.
Who tells you he was not invited?
Well, he did. He wasn't there.
Lydia Wanyoto is saying,
you didn't invite me as your friend and fellow spokesperson. You didn't invite me.
I didn't want you to be beaten and tear gassed by police. That would be a real challenge. But look, Oscar, we have always been trying, and we continuously find ways to connect, because we who are seeking change, we are more similar than we are different. We might belong to different political outfits, different colors and so on, but we are more similar than we are different, and so we need to pull our energies together and our abilities and so on to connect in one way or another. And so these are our brothers, if you like, and we were happy to invite them, and we are glad they did show up. And we believe we'll keep connecting in various other ways, you know, so that we can surmount a proper challenge to this establishment.
You know, Professor Baremreva said on X that when he saw Besige and Lukwago there, he said when we saw the friction Lukwagos were causing in the FDC, we knew the destination.
No, but the Lukwagos and the others, they're asking legitimate questions which have not been answered. And I'm not trying to resuscitate this debate, but you see, those who excuse it by saying, those ones is because they're very close to NUP, that's why they are trying to attack us or whatever. They're asking you questions about their party and your party. Answer those questions, not try to, you know, deflect and say, no, it's because you're very good friends with Honorable Chagulanyi and NUP. That's why you're asking us to account for money. Hey, account. Then, you know, the other issues can come later.
Akampa Rugaba Tanbo says, whereas NUP of Bobby Wine and Senyi prides itself in small office buildings, NRM under President Museveni's agenda is more focused on to consolidating power and offering services.
He's actually right on the latter, Oscar.
Yeah.
You know, Mr. Museveni is more concerned about a tight grip on power. That's why he'll use anything and everything.
Himself,
violence, money, patronage, and so on. He will do anything and everything. So the latter part is right. But you see, it's important. When you say you are planning for leadership, it must come through in every sense, including how we dress Oscar. Yeah, you cannot be shabby there and then you say, for me, I'm just concerned about the struggle and so on, you know, so I can show up for serious meeting in jeans and a torn t-shirt. No, let's be serious. Let's not excuse these things. We are planning